Hey, what's up everybody? Brian here with the Holy Roller playing craps on a cruise to earn a free cruise, and I got $1,000 in a bankroll right now. Let's roll. Welcome to the Holy Roller, where it's all about playing craps and winning free cruises. I'm going to show you what it's all about, so let's get rolling. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to do a little hybrid strategy, if you would. We're going to actually use $1,000 here, and we're going to use black units. So you could use this at $25 level, or if you want to do it at a $10 level, you could calculate how much you'd need for a $10 level. So at a $10 table. But we're going to do $100 here. And so we're going to do 100 on the don't pass. And we're going to see if we can get a point established. So what we would need right now is no 7, no 11. That's what would lose right here. We want to get a box number. A 2-3 would win and a 12 would push. So a 2-3 would be great. 7-11 would be horrible. All right, let's see what happens here. And it is a 7. That's the horrible start. Down $100 already. And so let's go back and see if we can miss it this time. And it is a 10. All right, so we're down $100. And now the point is a 10. Now this wins on a 7, but it loses on a 10. Now, if you wanted to hybrid this strategy and guarantee a $25 win, or a $50 win, you could put $75 out on that 10 and it would pay $150, but you would lose that if a 10 came. Or you can if a 7 came, you would lose 75, but you'd win 100, so the difference would be 25. That's the hybrid that you could do on this. But we're going to just stick with the no 10, and then we're going to do what's called a don't come. And this is the same thing as this, but when the puck is on, okay? So it loses on 7-11, wins on 2-3, and it pushes on the 12. Let's see if we can get a 2 or 3 right here. That would be great. And it's a 4. All right, a 4. Now we have a no 4. It goes behind the 4. So we lose on a 10, and we lose on a 4. Now, let's put one more out there and see what happens, and see if we can get past it one more time. All right, here we go. And it's a 5, all right? So now this goes behind the 5, and we want no 4, no 5, no 10. A 7 would win on all 3 of these, okay? So now let's just roll it and see what happens. All right, so there is a 6, and here is a 6 again, and let's roll again, and it is a 10. We lost $100 on that right there because it's a winner 10. And now these are still working. So let's go ahead and go back out right here. And we're going to get another point established. No 7, no 11. But if a 7 comes, we would win on those 2. And we'd lose on this one. So we'd still be $100 up, even though we just lost that $100. So we'd have our money back, I guess I should say. All right, let's see what it hits. And it's a 7. All right, so we lost this one here. And these 2 win, even money. So we got 400 back, and we're still $100 down altogether. Now that was a come out 7, so it's the same shooter, same dice. And let's get right here back on it and see what happens. All right, there is an 11. Wow. 7-11 lose right there. Let's get back up in the DP, the don't pass. And there's a 4 for the don't pass. And so that means, sorry, the puck needs to move. And the difference is when you're on the come or the don't come, the next number that rolls, the money moves. So I was about to just move the money over there, but nope, it's a point. And so let's go and let's do a little hybrid thing. We're going to set up one of these here and see if we can get past the 7-11 one more time. And there's a 5. So we want no 4, no 5. But this time we're actually going to do a come bet. So now this is wins on 7-11, loses on 2-3-12. So now if we saw an 11, that would be great. A 7 would be winner, winner, winner. That would be awesome. Let's see what happens. And it is an 8. All right, so now this moves to an 8, and it goes right inside the box there, and we want an 8. That loses on a 7, but this would win. So that kind of breaks even. And so this one right here is a 7 would be our best bet. But an 8 wouldn't be bad, and we could get another one set right here. So let's see what happens if we get another one going. Let's see. And it is an 8. All right. So what that means is instead of all this moving where this one moves to an 8 and that one gets paid, it's what's called an off and on. So they just pay right here. So this is 100. And so we could just leave it out there and let's see what happens. And it is a 7. All right. So perfect scenario for us right there, because this loses, but this wins. This wins here, and then this wins here. All right. So boom, boom. And so let's see what we have all together. We have 600 here, and we have 500 here. We're up $100 with all of that action. And you might say, wow, I thought we lost a lot. Yeah, we did. We did lose, but we did win as well. All right. So let's go back up on the don't pass. And this time, we're going to get some change, meaning some greens for that 100. So this is our profit money in green. And here we go. Let's see what it is. It's an 8. All right. So we're going against the 8 here. And you might say, you don't want to really go against the 8. And you might say, well, you know, on the don't pass, you could pick it up. You could just not play against the 8. But when you're playing craps on a cruise to win a free cruise, the more money on the table, the better. And the odds don't count, so that's why we don't play odds. But let me get some change for this here. I'm going to show you something here. We're going to go like this, and we're going to put $90 on the 8. Now, you might say that doesn't make sense because you have a no 8, but then you're also betting the 8. Well, what happens is this $90 will pay $105, which is a difference of $5. And if a 7 comes, we'd lose that 90, but we would win 100, which is a difference of $10. So right now we're playing for $5 or $10. And you might say, well, that doesn't even make sense. You should just put it in your rack. But the longer this roll happens and the longer this plays out, the more points we get. And we have $190 on the table for our average bet. All right, let's go right here and let's get a DC established, DC action. Let's see what happens here. And it's a 9. So now we want no 9. And if the 8 comes, that's okay. It's just a $5 or $10 difference if the 8 comes. We have $290 average bet here. And we could just roll this out, or we can actually put another 100 out right here and have this traveling around. So let's see what happens here. We want 7-11 wins, 2-3-12 loses. So let's see what happens here. And it is a 6. All right. So this moves to the 6. Now this is the light side play. It's a contract bet. We cannot move it, but it gets paid if we roll a 6. All right. Let's roll a 6 and see what happens. Oh, it's a 7. It's a 7. All right. So this loses and this loses. But this wins here. And remember that $90? We need to add another $10 to it to make it 100, because that's what that pays. So again, that one that we were hedging and doing a hybrid system, we won $10 on that instead of our original. So when we go back to our original bet, our original bankroll, we're up $110 from our original bankroll there. And we had all that money on the table for average bet going towards a free cruise, and we're earning points as we play. All right. So let's go ahead and go right here to the don't pass, and let's see if we can get another don't pass established. No 7, no 11 is what we want, and there's a 9. So we got it. So now we want no 9. So this would lose on a 9 but win on a 7. Now we could take and do the same thing. $75 this time. 75 pays 105. So we can, if a 9 rolls, we can win $5. If a 7 rolls, we can win $25. Now, what is that? $175 average bet. Let's get a DC established here. See if we can get past it one more time. And we did with a 10. All right, so we have a 10. Now this moves to a no 10, and now we want no 10. And if a 9 rolls, it doesn't matter. But if a 7 comes, that's great. But we do want to say, let's get a come going, a come bet. And so this would be our light side play. If a 7 came right now, we would win over there. We'd win right there. We'd win right there. We would just lose 75. All right. So let's see what happens. And it is a 7. Out. And what that means is we lose that 75. So this goes bye-bye. puck goes off, the don't gets paid, right? The come gets paid, and the don't pass gets paid. So all of those got paid, and let's see where we're at with our bankroll. We have our 5, and we are up $335. And so now we could say, let's take our $1,000 and put it aside, and now let's just play with this money here. So now we're just playing with this money here, and now we know that we have our bankroll, our original bankroll established and set aside. And so now we have $335 to play with. We could go down to a green level and just get green if we wanted to. And we could do the same strategy just at the $25 level instead of the $100 level. So, or we could do the $50 level instead of the $100 level. So let's do that. Let's do $50. So we're going to cut it in half, which means our points are going to be cut in half. But I'm going to show you how we can have. We're just separating the units. So what we're going to do is we're going to see if we get past it. There's a 9. So we got past the 7-11 right there. That's good. So now we want no 9, and we have to back up $50. If we want to back up $50 there, you could back it up even money, right? 50 would pay 70. So that'd be a difference of $30. If the 7 came, you would break even, okay? But it's a $100 bet on the table right there. All right, let's go with the DC. Don't come for $50. See if we get past the 7-11. And we didn't with the 11 rolling just like that. And so that goes away. And let's try it one more time. One more time. Let's see what happens. And it is, 7. Wow. So we lost $100 right there with those 2 rolls. But this one right here, we lost and we won it right there. So we did lose $100 on that. And so it could have been $200 if we were still at the black unit. So we could, we have $200. We could go back up, or we could stay at the $50 level. Let's stay at the $50 level right there just to see what happens. And we're playing with casino money now, so no 7, no 11 would be great. And there's an 11. Wow, wow, wow. And you might say, you should be on the light side now with that free money. And there is a 5. So we could be on the light side, and I'll show you. We're on the no 5 right here. And so we could just go boom, right? Break even or win, $20, right? 50 pays 70. So we could win 20 or break even. $100 on the table, $100 average bet, 100 points per hour pretty much on the Royal Caribbean when playing craps on a cruise to earn a free cruise. All right, let's break these units up and do 25 here. Okay, this is going to be a comeback. Here we go. Let's see what happens. And it's a 7. All right, so 7 means that we win 25 right here. This loses, but it wins right here. And so we won 25 on that. And so we lost. So now we're down 75 from when we started, when we put our bankroll aside. All right, some people would say, why not do the pass line? Pass line bet, there's really, when we're on the don't pass, and then it was a 5, we put the money on the 5, we're able to hedge our bets. There's really not a lot of ways to hedge your bet if you're stuck on the pass line. Meaning that if a 7 rolled, how do you get your 7? How do you get paid on your 7? Well, if the same scenario of 5 rolled and you wanted to do what's called no 5 and you did it in reverse, you would have to bet 75, I think, 100 would pay, I think, but you'd have to pay, it's called a lay bet, and you'd have to pay, and you bet more to win less. So you'd have to bet, I know at least on a 4, if you put $100 on a 4, if a 7 came, you would win $50. So again, you put out, and that would cost you $5 to place that bet. So it'd be 105 to win 50. So you still have an average bet on the table of 150, but that is 150 just to break even. And if a 4 rolls, it loses. Okay, so that's kind of like the way that we would go if we were going on the pass line and trying to play the 7-2. It's a lot less expensive to play the don't and instead of lay bets. Okay, now there is a way that you could do your don't, and let's say you wanted. I think your minimum over here is like $30. So let's say we want to do. So $30 on a no 4 would pay $15. $30 on a no 5 would pay would pay $20, and a $30 on a no 6 or no 8 would pay $25. So if you did no 6, no 8, that in a 7 rolled right here, you would win 50, but it would cost $2 to place that bet. Okay, so this is a scenario where you can back up or protect it against the 7. The other way you could protect this against the 7 on the come out is so these would be lay bets, by the way. So 6 or 8, you would lose $30, okay, or 31 with the vigorish. And so, with that being said, you know, you're risking at least 30 over there, and for 50, it just doesn't make sense to try to ensure that with a lay bet. So instead of doing that, you could insure it with an any 7, but $5 or $10 would pay 50. So you're guaranteed to lose $10 if a 7 doesn't roll, and if a 7 does roll, you're just breaking even. You're still down $10. When you do that, this pays 40, and so 40 plus the 10 is 50. But and you put that back, you're still down 10. So that's kind of difficult too to kind of say, should I hedge it this way? And then of course, if 11 rolls, you could say, okay, let me put 5 there. So now I'm $15 in it. This would pay 75, which would kind of pay a difference of $15 because I'd lose that 10, but I'd win 75. But I'd lose this too. So a difference of 15. So really, that's why it's kind of tough, to really say, do I really want to hedge or do I just want to go straight for it? And so with all that talking that I just did, let's not do any of that. And let's see if we can get past the 7 and 11. And we did with a 10. Okay, so the point is 10, and so now we're going against the 10. $50 here. $25 pays $50. We'd have to pay $1 for a vig, and that becomes a buy bet. So that's a good way to put $75 on the table. So now we have 75 on the table. So a 10 doesn't matter to us. And you might say, well, if it doesn't matter, why even play it? Average bet. We got $75 average bet at the table. We could put this out now, have a $100 average bet, and see if this just kind of goes around and see if we can hit some repeaters. Dice off the table. See if we can hit some repeaters. There's a 4. And so this goes to a 4. Now we're wanting to hit a 4 again. And let's see, there's a 5. And so we have a $100 average bet here. And so as long as this lasts, okay, it didn't last that long because we got a 7. So I want you to see right now, we had $100 on the table, but we were only risking, what were we risking? If a 10 came, the 4 would have still been in play. If a 7 came, which it did, we lose this and we lose this, and we get paid here, which means because we had to pay $1 for that vig, we lost $1 for that roll, but we had a $100 average bet on the table. So this is kind of the hybrid system. This is the system to gain points. It's like a comp system, and you risk a lot. You risk on the come out. So let's go back. Look, we're going to go up to $100 right here. $100, no 7, no 11. Let's see what happens. And it's a 9. All right, so now we have $100. And remember, this is casino money because here's our bankroll that we started with. So we have $100. Now let's do $50 in the come right here. Coming. So what happens is whatever rolls next, 7, 11 wins, 2, 3, 12 lose, but a 7 right now would be great, but we want no 9 to happen, okay? That's the main thing, And there's a 6. Okay, so now we have $50. So right now, this comes to the 6, so we want a 6 to roll to get paid there. We have $150 on the table. We want no 9. Let's roll a 6. Here we go. And it is a 5. 5. And so we have 100 and there's a 7. All right, 7 came. So the difference is we lose this right here, this 50. We get paid 100. So we won $50 on that. Okay. So now we're up a little bit back where we were before. And so that's no 9. And so you can see there's all kinds of different ways that you can hedge. Let's do it at the $25 level. Let's say we wanted to do a, just see if we can get past the 7 or 11 there. There's an 8. So now we're going against the 8. No 8, right? And we're $25 against the 8. Let's do a comeback here. And let's see if we can get that set. And that's a 4. All right. So this goes to the 4. Let's get, now let's go this way and get a DC established. See if we can. There's an 11. No, we lose that because 7-11 loses over there. All right. And let's go one more time. If we were right here, we would have won. But I like to set up the don'ts before I set up the do's, if you would. All right. So here is a no 5. And now we'll do another do. So we had the don't, then we set up a do. Then we had a don't, now we set up a do. All right, here we go. All right, let's see what happens. And it's a 5. Wow. So no 5, but we hit the 5. So this goes to the 5. We lose this. So now we need a 4 or 5 just to kind of break even. And so let's see what happens. There's a 9. And we want no 8, by the way. Let's see what happens. Oh, dice off the table. Let's grab another die here. Here we go. And it's a 5. Okay, so we got that 5 that we lost. We got it back. We got it back. So again, set up a don't before you set up a do. All right, let's do it. See what happens here. And it's a 3. That's a good don't because we won that right there. So it's another 25. Let's see if we can get it set up. And there's an 8. All right, so we lost 25. This goes behind the 8. We won the point, which means we lost this 25. And so now this would win on a 7. This would win on a 4. So right now, I usually, instead of doing a don't, I'll just leave it like that. See what happens. And it's a 4. So we won right here. This becomes a 4. We have a don't. And now we'll just put this in our rack and set up a do. All right. Here we go. And it's a 6. So now we want a 6. We want no 8. But the cool thing about this is you can take this and remove it and say, I don't want that. And because if a 6 rolled, maybe a 8's going to come next. Let's see. We'll put that in the don't and see what happens. And it's an 8. Yeah. So this would travel to the 8 now. Do we want to see if a 6 would roll now? Let's see. There's a midnight. Midnight does nothing. And there is a 6. All right. So there's a 6. Which means we win here. So we have a no 8, right? And we could take that down. Let's just take it down, go here, and then let's take this and put it right here. All right? See if we can get a don't set up. A don't before a do. All right? So there's a 6. That's no 6. And now let's set up the do. All right, here we go. And it is an 8. 6s and 8s. The most common numbers besides that 1. All right, here we go. So if a 7 came, we'd break even right now, but we want an 8. All right, let's get it. Okay, there's a 7. So this loses, this wins. So this gets paid, and so we win 50. So where are we at altogether? I think we won, well, we got $250, $270. All right, so you could see kind of going back and forth. That's kind of a hybrid system, and playing the dark side, the light side, all of that. But this is the main thing. More money on the table, and you get points that gain and earn a free cruise. And that's what it's all about. So not only did we come up $250 or so, and we just tipped the dealers the rest, we came up $250, but if we just kept this going and one little at a time with a hybrid system, you win a little at a time, you lose a little at a time. But the idea is time at the table, average bet, and you can win yourself or earn yourself a free cruise. And that's what it's all about. Thanks for watching. Watch this video if you want to learn more, and don't forget to subscribe to the Holy Roller, and I hope to see you cruising and rolling on a craps table soon. See ya!